Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. So, I have been sick and my life has been hectic and I've been building a new computer because my old one broke, and I've been rethinking my setup a little bit because I want to continue filming at my desk, but I realized that a plain beige wall was not the most appealing thing on the planet. Yeah, so welcome back. Welcome to the new setup. I got a lot of fun trinkets back there. And yeah, this is my first time filming in like a month and I feel very out of it. So I was originally going to make this a history lesson video, but I simply just like did not have the mental energy to do that. So, and I found some like silly little TikToks, and after the videos that I made last month, like I need a brain break. So we're going to be doing a reaction today. Before we get into the reaction, I want to thank today's video sponsor, ExpressVPN. Sending data over an unencrypted internet network is like sending a postcard. Your mailman and any other nosy people can see your message without you even wanting them to. Whether you're connected to an unencrypted network on your phone, computer, tablet, whatever, you're sending countless of pieces of information out into the digital world that can be seen and intercepted by many different parties before they get to their intended recipient. But a VPN, or a virtual private network, creates a secure tunnel between your device and the internet. So in other words, it puts your postcard in an envelope so that no one can sneak a peek at any of your messages or data. And that's where ExpressVPN comes in. I use a VPN because now that I am like a person on the internet that makes content for people, I like my information to be as private as possible and untraceable as possible. Another big thing is that internet service providers, or ISPs, can see literally everything that you do. And US ISPs can legally sell your data to companies without you even knowing. And UK and Australian ISPs are required to keep logs of the websites that you visit, the apps you use, the private conversations that you have, for 1 to 2 years. But ExpressVPN puts a stop to this by rerouting 100% of your network traffic through secure encrypted servers. Another fun perk about having ExpressVPN is that you can easily set where you are, your destination, to another place. And this comes in big handy when using like Netflix or streaming services, because I like watching shows that are on UK Netflix, but the US Netflix simply does not have those most of the time. So all I have to do is switch my location to the UK, and boom, I'm in, baby, and I have so much entertainment to keep me occupied for as long as I need. So if you want to join me and check out ExpressVPN, be sure to click the link in my bio and you'll get 3 months free. Thank you so much to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video, and now let's get into the reaction. Okay, actually, so this one I muted it because it had copyrighted music in it, but it's Splotchmaker, and she's like duetting a TikTok of a pregnant girl with, the video has the words saying, trading a hot girl summer for a pregnant girl summer, watching your besties sip on spicy margs while looking like a whale in my bikini. And so Splotchmaker is duetting this and duetting it and saying, stop being fat phobic while pregnant challenge. And I just thought this was interesting because I've seen this a lot, and I've had coworkers who were pregnant and they were talking about like how fat they felt or whatever, and like they knew that like I had lost weight and all that kind of stuff, and they apologized to me for using that verbiage, but I was like, it's really okay. Like, it's not, I did not take any offense with it or by it, because I can't even imagine the difference the difference in the feeling of your body when you're growing a literal human inside of you, you know? And so like, yeah, I bet you would feel fat. I bet you would feel bloated. I bet you would feel like you look like a whale sometimes, even though I think pregnant women are beautiful, but like, I bet the feeling is very weird and not pleasant a lot of the time. And so we should start being kinder to pregnant women, and fat acceptance people should leave pregnant women out of their fat activism. That's all I needed to say about that. Let's move on to the next one.
Lately, I've been seeing a really big increase in the number of plus-size creators who have built their brand on being a plus-size person, now decide that they no longer support the plus-size community, and now want to make people feel bad for not being the good kind of fat person. So let me be really upfront and clear. I've done the work. I have deconstructed every single drop of fat phobia in my brain, and I will never, ever project my insecurities on you guys. There is nothing wrong with making healthy choices. It's great to make healthy choices, but if you don't want to or you can't, that's okay too. Health is something that you could lose at any second, and everybody loses it eventually. So don't base your self-worth in how much health you have. Do what makes you happy, and don't be an asshole to people who make choices that you don't think are best for you.
Okay, so this is going to be kind of like a two-parter because I wanted to include this original video, and then the next one is going to be a stitch with this video. So I thought this video was really interesting, or really kind of funny, because we're talking about like how, yeah, making healthy choices is great if you want to do that, but if you don't want to do that, that's fine too, which like I agree, like do what you want as long as you're not hurting people. I think it's funny in the way that they said, but don't like hate on people for making decisions that don't align with you, when that's really like the entirety of what the fat acceptance community is about, right? It has very much become like an us versus them kind of thing, very much like fat people versus thin people or whatever kind of thing. And this person is like a fat acceptance creator, at least I would deem them to be. But yeah, and so I thought it was really funny that all of a sudden like the goalposts are shifting, and I've been seeing this a lot actually in fat acceptance TikToks and stuff, is that they're kind of shifting their goalpost a little bit and like being like, if you want to lose weight, it's okay, but like blah, blah, blah. But like, and that's a new thing that I've never really seen them say so consistently. That, and also they've been talking a lot about how if you have dating preferences and like you don't want to date fat people, like that's okay. But if it's for like the reason that you think fat people are lazy or gross or whatever, then that's when it becomes fat phobic. I've never seen them give the caveat that like if you're just neutrally not attracted to fat people or whatever, that's okay. The goalposts are shifting, and I think it's very, very interesting. But yeah, I thought this was funny just because like the whole video was like talking pretty negatively on fat acceptance or body positivity creators who decide to lose weight or choose a different, or like change their lifestyle. But then at the end they're like, but don't shit on somebody for someone or for making choices that you don't agree with or whatever, when like that's what this whole video is about. I don't know. I just thought it was really funny how like one could contradict themselves so much in one video. But yeah, so this next video is going to be a stitch to this one.
Being a plus-size person, now decide that they no longer support the plus-size community.
Yeah. It's because they want to lose weight and they don't want to be held accountable for any harmful narratives they might perpetuate about fatness in the process. These creators have been on the internet and in the body positive space long enough to know that their content does not exist in a vacuum and that people come to them for positivity and for representation. So now that they're losing weight or they're planning to lose weight, they know they're probably going to be held accountable by that community. And they want to post those before and afters. They want to like document their progress and be proud of themselves. But they don't think the body positive community allows that, and they're partially correct. So their only choice is to completely distance themselves from body positivity, period. I'm about to post a Patreon podcast episode going a lot more in depth on this, but what I'll say here is a lot of us who critique these creators who lose a lot of weight and decide to make content about it, we're not critiquing the weight loss itself, we're critiquing the narratives that they push around fatness while doing it.
That one also is kind of in the same vein of the other one, obviously, because they were stitching the first one. I think it's funny hearing creators talk about like body positivity creators or body positivity people or fat acceptance people who have decided to lose weight, because that's a very personal and a very vulnerable decision. But it's also a very hard thing to do. And that's where like my dislike for the fat acceptance body positivity community now comes from, is because like for me, losing weight, if you're new here, I had weight loss surgery 5 years ago, and I've lost 100 pounds. Losing weight for me was like the most body positive thing I've ever done for myself, right? That's why I really hate how fat acceptance has co-opted the body positivity movement, because while they see like staying fat and loving your fat body as being body positive, again, they should not be talking negatively or questioning people's decisions that they don't agree with by basically disagreeing or shitting on people who choose to lose weight, who are previously in the body positivity community, when, like I said, that is a very personal decision to make. And I think that the fact that, and they say it with so much pride, that like, oh, the body positivity community will hold these people accountable. Why do they need to be held accountable for a personal decision like that? Like, yeah, I mean, I agree with holding creators accountable for certain things, but something like losing weight, why? If we were really body positive, like, we wouldn't care, right? If we were really body positive, like, they wouldn't care, because now that they're starting to kind of change their tune about like, oh, you can do this, but like, let me do this. Why does it matter anymore? Why? I don't get it. I just think these two videos are very hypocritical of like, it's really funny watching these two people contradict themselves in like a 30-second clip. I really don't think there's anything to hold a creator accountable for when they decide to lose weight, even if they are coming from the body positivity, fat acceptance movement. Although I do get that one of the biggest narratives in the fat acceptance movement is hating weight loss. So yeah, but I just thought those were interesting takes, so I wanted to put them in here. Anyways, on to this next one.
You guys, I just saw Shrek 2 for the first time. I'm so embarrassed, because when I saw Shrek 1, and like my whole life having watched Shrek, I thought that Fiona was like born to ogres. Like, I thought her parents were ogres. And then in Shrek 2, it turns out her parents are not ogres. So hold on a second here, because I thought that Princess Fiona's arc was like the most body positive thing in the world. Of like, she was fighting against her natural body, and then she like turns out that like true love set her free into being an ogre. And yes, that is true. But the reason she becomes an ogre is because that's true love's form, right? It's true love's form for her to be an ogre, because her true love is an ogre. Listen, we're not going to get into the interspecies thing, but I feel like being an ogre in this situation is a metaphor for being ugly, fat, having a different skin color, and Princess Fiona being an ogre because Shrek is an ogre kind of gives the vibe that it's like, well, two ogres can be together, but a princess and an ogre could never. I just think there's something weird there. And I'm kind of upset, because I feel like it's saying, well, the uglies can be ugly together, but a pretty and an ugly can't be together. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I'm not feeling as good about Shrek as I used to.
Okay, first of all, let's not shit on the cinematic masterpieces that are Shrek 1 and 2, okay? We're not going to do that, because they're amazing movies, and it's literally Shrek. Like, it's just Shrek. Also, the reason I wanted to put this in here is because I thought it was really funny that that girl's whole platform is like, not whole platform, but a lot of her platform is talking about how fat women or fat people are often portrayed in media and all of that kind of stuff. So she takes pride in like media analysis, right? How do you not know that Fiona was a human? Fiona was a princess born to people in Shrek 1. I just don't get it. Also, it's literally Shrek. I just thought this video was so funny. I really have nothing to add to it other than it's Shrek. It's really okay. It's not that deep. It's just Shrek. But yeah, I just wanted to put that in here because I thought it was really funny. Yeah.
I feel like the main character, all you're gonna do is be a fat bitch and walk in Universal Studios with a bralette on. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone's looking at you. Not one person passes me without giving me some kind of glance. Sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's not. But I know that everyone's thinking about me.
Imagine
so you want to hear my hot take?
So into yourself that you think at Universal Studios everybody's looking at you because you're wearing a bralette. I don't know about you, but when I went to Universal Studios, I was focusing on the Minions. I was focusing on the Lucille Ball stuff because I Love Lucy. I was not focusing on Harry Potter because, fun fact about me, I've never seen or read the Harry Potter books. But there are so many other things to look at Universal Studios that I doubt as many people were looking at you as you thought were. If anything, and I am all about women being able to wear whatever they want, like do what you want. But also, Universal Studios, like there's kids around. I don't know if a lace bralette would be my first go-to option to wear to Universal Studios. I think that would be a perfectly great option for like any other place other than like a theme park. And that's probably if people were looking at you, why they were looking at you. I just thought this was silly. And I thought it was like a perfect example of how self-centered fat activists are, because like, holy crap, imagine being at one of the country's biggest theme parks and thinking that everybody who even glances at you is actually looking at you. Because I don't know about you, but like I have like glanced over in a direction and I bet it looked like I was looking at somebody, but I wasn't. My mind was just wandering. I don't know. I just thought like this was really funny and like a perfect example of how much the fat activist community thinks that the world is concerned about them when like really it's not. And I think it really brought me, because I used to think like that too, and it brought me a lot of peace realizing how much nobody else in the general population really cares about me or what I'm doing or what I'm wearing. You know? Yeah. On to the next one.
So you want to hear my hot take on plus size travel and why I think every plus size traveler should get a free second and even third seat on an airplane? Then you better keep watching and sign my petition to make some real change. Let's just state facts. Plus size travelers need more space. And many people agree that plane seats are too small, even for the average size person. As a plus size traveler myself, I know how uncomfortable and unsafe it can be to squeeze into a tiny airplane seat. We are not asking for special treatment or luxury accommodations. We simply want enough space to travel comfortably and safely without fear of being discriminated against because of our size. It's truly that simple. If you agree that every traveler deserves to fly comfortably and without fear of discrimination, then go ahead and please sign my petition and share it with everybody that you know. Let's work together to make air travel more inclusive and accommodating for everyone.
All right. We're talking about it. I've been dancing around talking about this topic for a while because I can understand and definitely empathize with traveling while being fat, also being very uncomfortable. I can absolutely understand and empathize with that experience because in high school, like my parents and I went to Disney and Universal Studios, funnily enough. I had to get a seatbelt extender and that was really uncomfortable. Luckily, my parents and I took up one spot or one row. So like my dad just kind of like went with me spilling over into his seat. I had to get a seatbelt extender because I was bigger than I am now. And it was embarrassing and the ride was uncomfortable. I think because even when I traveled to London, like I was 270 or 280-ish. The highest I ever got was 315 pounds. That was even uncomfortable. Like it was an 8-hour flight. Like of course it was going to be uncomfortable. But I never ever thought that I should be entitled to a second or even third seat for free to accommodate my size. I've always thought that this thing was like kind of silly. I get that it's uncomfortable. I empathize. It's not fun. But there comes a point when you need to realize that yes, societal norms suck for the most part. Like I get it. It's frustrating, whatever. Some of them are very good, but some of them suck. When you stop fitting in certain things or in certain places or in society because of your size, it might be time for a change. For not even to accommodate the people around you, but for yourself, to make your life easier. Because I cannot tell you how much I never realized how much my body size was affecting me until I was no longer 300 pounds or anywhere around that. My life has improved so much, just my quality of life, my ability to do things, whatever. But when you start having issues and you start thinking that you might need to acquire a second and third airplane seat just to fit you on an airplane, I think it's time for some like personal, like some introspection. I do know that this like thing that she has going is also calling for like a wheelchair accessible bathroom on airplanes, which like I totally get that, like for the future. That absolutely makes sense to me. But again, like my last video that I made about fat acceptance and their narratives on how they're oppressed and whatever, I think this is like comparing two very different things, because yes, wheelchair users should be able to use the bathroom on an airplane. That does not mean that super morbidly obese people should get second or third airplane seats for free. I was always of the mindset before I had surgery and before I decided to lose weight that if I ever got to the point where I was going to need a second or third airplane seat, which I was getting to that point, that I would just pay for it myself, because I took ownership of where I was and I was like, this is my decision to not change something that I can change, which is now affecting people around me. And also safety too, like my safety and the people around me's safety. So I'm just going to take one for the team and buy a second seat if I never get to that point. So I think this whole thing is silly. I have not really seen many people, both fat and otherwise, agreeing with this. I could be wrong, but on my side of the internet, I just have not seen that. I think ultimately when you stop being able to fit in like standard things, standard sized things, like that's when it's time to make a change, and like kind of get real with yourself a little bit. I had to do it. It's very hard. It's very vulnerable. I get it. But there comes a point where you just have to like woman up, adult up, and do it, you know? Also, flying is not comfortable for anybody. Like, I don't know where they got this myth that like flying is supposed to be comfortable. It is not comfortable. Those airplane companies are adding more and more seats to sell more and more tickets, and they do not care. And everybody's packed in there like sardines. So yeah, like flying's uncomfortable for anybody of any size. And I can say that as someone who flew at my absolute lowest weight and as someone who flew at almost over 300 pounds. It's not comfortable either way, whether you fit in the seat or almost don't fit in the seat. Another thing about this girl, this creator, is I think she's like 26 and she's already on oxygen. And that's really worrisome to me, and I really worry about her because I'm 26 and I feel like I probably may have gotten to that point if I never had my like wake up call moment kind of thing. I just think there's a lack of personal responsibility being taken here. And yeah. And so that's my thoughts on the airplane seat situation. I feel kind of bad just being like, no, this is a you problem, but it like genuinely is just like a you problem. So yeah. That's all I have to say. And that was the last video. So I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm super happy to be back. Thank you so much to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. And let me know what you think of the new setup. I think it's kind of fun. It'll do until we move apartments. And then we're gonna have a whole other bedroom that I'm gonna convert like a little corner for filming. So yeah, that was my intention with this. This is temporary, but yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, drink your water, take your meds, and I will see you in the next one. Okay,